Okay, here with our 1965 Alcort Sunfish WAVE fiberglass boat. She's in for some hull repair. Got some fiberglass cracks that had some patches over it. We pulled the external patches off. We're going to either fill and fair where we can grind out a little bit of gel coat here probably. I may have to do some other repairs down here, but the composition of this fiberglass, as we call it, it's got an outer layer of gel coat right here. This is old primer, this is old paint. So the boat's built with gel coat, sprayed inside the mold, and then they lay fiberglass inside of it. That's what this is here. So we see where it's kind of this darker color. That's good fiberglass. Where it starts getting cloudy, that's where it's been crushed a little bit. So you can see if I push on it, it doesn't give way. I can hear it cracking a little bit there though. So there's been a pretty good smack on the nose here when I come up here to this section here. I mean, that fiberglass has been crushed. So what we're going to do is trim it out till we get back to good fiberglass, which is where this dark stuff is. Slide a backer patch inside, pull it up with some epoxy on it, wait for it to dry, and then we'll rebuild new fiberglass on top of it. Sand it, prime it, paint it. So that there'll be what we call a backer patch, an internal patch up there. Some people call it a blind patch. Down the chine here, we can probe that a little. That still seems pretty solid, and even though I've got a little bit of a cloudiness here, which indicates a little bit of crushing, it feels solid. So whatever's behind it's holding good. So we'll probably put a skim coat of thickened epoxy in here to fill in any grooves, sand it, prime it, sand it, paint it. Up here on the hull, I don't want to push it. I'll work on it later a little bit with this. This is a diamond file. Let me talk about this tool a second. That we bought at Lowe's. It's got a straight side and a curved side, and it's good for sanding all kinds of things. See, I can put that indentation there. This is all going to cave as soon as we put any kind of pressure on it. So we'll probably widen it out. We'll have a crack, a space about this big to get rid of this cloudy fiberglass and this crack. Get it back to a clean edge. We'll taper it in all the way around. Then we'll put that patch in from inside, pull it up, and let it dry, and then build new fiberglass on top of it, and then a finish. This here, this is solid, so we can just do some sanding here and repair that. Let's see what else we got down on the stern here. They've doubled up fiberglass here, so this external layer needs a little bit of attention, but I don't think I'll have to go inside. But I'll double check though if I do need to go inside. This boat had a inspection port, so we can do that. We are going to come in and put a backer patch in there, fill in this old drain plug, put that in before I knew any better. It would have been water in the boat, would have been better just to figure out where the leaks were coming from, fix the leaks instead of drilling another hole in the boat. This isn't our favorite thing. We get a big hole right at the water line, it's going to leak eventually. And then we'll have to do a little bit of repair here. We had to drill out the old metal baler that was in there. We'll put thickened epoxy in there to rebuild that. This is a common leak area for boats. You come in and look, I don't know if you can see it, if it'll show up, but there's a seam between the cockpit and the hull that's in there. So we're going to make sure water can get inside there underneath the cockpit. So that's common leak area. Also back on the transom where we were, where the gudgeon attaches. So we're going to put thickened epoxy in there and make sure that's all sealed before we put in a new baler. Other common leak areas inside the daggerboard trunk. There's seams here, there's seams at the top where everything's bonded. A lot of times you'll see stress cracking here or stress cracking here. Wave's actually in pretty good shape, and when we did the air leak test, she didn't have any leaks coming out of there. And by stress cracking, let's see, I think there was some back over there. What I mean are these little, some call them spider cracking, that area right there, where there's been a hard impact and the gel coat's cracked. And then it's up to you to go explore and find out whether the fiberglass is cracked underneath it also. This area's fine, it's just the gel coat's rubbed off here. So all we got to do is just a little bit of fairing compound, a little bit of primer, smooth it out. Wave's traveled quite a bit. You might make out that she's got Hawaii numbers. She spent some time in Hawaii. She spent some time in Texas. And she's spent time out in Florida now, and she's going to head up to Virginia spring of next year. So this is our 1965 Wave. She's in for a little bit of fiberglass repair.